Hello. There has been a lot of talk this week in the news, hasn't there, about shortages. Petrol shortages, food shortages, the cost of petrol going up, the cost of food going up, the cost of gas and electricity going up, and the fact that the universal credit has come down. And in church this week, in various places, we've been looking at our reactions as Christians to money. On Sunday, we were talking about Ruth and Boaz. The fact that Ruth was gleaning in the fields behind Boaz's workers. Gleaning is God's way of social security. In Leviticus, it tells us that the farmers were not to harvest right to the very edge of their field, or not to pick the whole of the grapevine, but to let the gleaners, the people who were poor, people who were foreigners, come behind the workers and take what they could. You see, gleaning was a way of the poor people earning their living. God knows that actual work is good. It's very demoralising not to be in work. We saw this as a country in the 1930s when a lot of men were out of work. You lost your self-esteem. Lots of men just hated being out of work. They lost their dignity. God knows that begging is no good for your dignity. So he supplied a way of people who hadn't got work to go and find work. In our house group too, we were talking about the early church and how they approached the issue of people not having anything or not having enough. It says in Acts chapter 4, verse 32, all the believers were of one in heart and mind. No one claimed that any of their possessions was their own, but they shared everything they had. What a wonderful thing to do, to share everything you've got. Nobody went without. Nowadays it's all me and mine. Make sure I've got what I need. You even see it in the world with the COVID vaccinations, don't you? We'll vaccinate ourselves first and then we'll give to other people. God in the Bible says he loves a cheerful giver. He also said the measure you give will be the measure you receive. So I wonder what you're like at giving. I wonder what you're like at sharing. It isn't always easy, is it? But it's something God asks us to do. See you soon. Bye-bye.